Huh. Okay, I guess I'm recording. I guess I screwed up. Well, I don't guess. I did screw up. And could not. I made like the last 4 videos with sound, but no video. The video was covered up by like a black box. And the reason that happened is with the software I'm using to record this, I clicked on the wrong picture. When I started out, I clicked on one of the 2 icons, which showed me the game. And then I somehow switched over to the other icon, and that's where I got the problem. This Warplan is kind of funny because with the recording software, it shows 2 icons to choose to start recording. You got to choose the game. And on the other games I use, they only show 1 icon. So I switched, and because I switched, I got the bad feed. So now I fixed it, and what I'll have to do, hopefully I can show everyone what the problem is and how to correct it if they have it. Meanwhile, we're going to load in the game. And then I'll explain what happened in the missing sessions that you couldn't see, because I'm going to continue with the game. Now, you go up on the right hand side here to the double gears, and you click on it, and then a pop-up comes up and you click on graphics. Now here's where I made the mistake. You can see windowed here, and when you click on that, you can see the toolbar, the Windows toolbar. And when you click on it again, the toolbar disappears, and instead you see 2 boxes, one in the lower left-hand corner, one in the lower right. The lower right one is like a jump box for the whole campaign map, and the lower left one shows you detail on any hex your cursor hovers on. So you lose some functionality going to the windowed box, but you gain the window icon, so I can stop the recording. So anyway, it got screwed up, and sometimes that happens. So now it's fixed, I hope. And here we are. So we're actually in December 5th, 1941. Ooh, Japs are about to attack the Americans. And what's happened is, we're obviously in the winter, and it's snowing, and I set up my winter defensive line. Now, my objective was not to drive for Leningrad or Moscow, because to take either or both of those objectives is pointless. It will not end the game for the invasion of Russia. And Napoleon experienced that. He captured Moscow, and a big nothing happened. The Russians didn't surrender. And they wouldn't surrender in World War II. They just moved their capital probably to the Urals. So the only way that you can really end the game And in this regard, Hitler had it right. You go for the resources of the Russians, and that means oil. You cut off their oil. Then you bring their economy to a virtual halt. The Russians have 90% of their oil, probably 95% in the Caucasus. Maykop, Grozny, and Baku down there. Baku is about 85% of the oil production. Now the oil came up one of two ways through into central Russia. There was a pipeline the Russians built from Baku, and it went to Rostov, and I think it went up to Stalino. And then I think what happened is the Russian tankers filled up here, maybe at Rostov, and up here on the Minas, and transported it inland on the tankers. And the other way was, this is Astrakhan. I don't know why they didn't put this name here. But it came up the Volga River here from Astrakhan, went up to Stalingrad, and then went to the Urals. So Hitler's original idea, which was correct, you interdict this river line, and you already hold Rostov, and then the Russian oil can't get through. They don't have enough capacity on the rail to send it up. They don't even have the facilities to rail it up. So you don't necessarily have to hold Stalingrad, but you have to be adjacent to one of the Volga River hexes. Now, the problem is, if you don't hold it at Stalingrad, then as you move away from the rail net, like anywhere down here, your supply situation gets worse and worse. And the same thing up here. So in ideal circumstances, you have to be somewhere on this rail. And you can be that up here, but not down here. So you didn't necessarily need to capture Stalingrad. But if you don't, you can see your rail will end here, and then you'll be off rail there and there. Now the problem is, if you're off the rail, you have to be supplied by trucks. And the capacity of trucks to supply you is pretty low compared to a rail. But later on, as the plan develops, Hitler became mesmerized with Stalingrad, which was named after Stalin, and he made that the objective. Now that was a mistake. Well, it wouldn't have been a mistake if Hitler had stuck with his original plan and pushed his offensive towards Stalingrad like he indicated, and then after Stalingrad was captured, go south and try to take the oil fields. Now that would have been probably a bridge too far, because you can see the enormous distances. And one thing the game doesn't incorporate, that this rail line running into Stalingrad from the west was a single rail track, whereas the rail running up to here was a double one. Now the carrying capacity of a single and double is a lot. It's the difference between 10 trains a day and 30 trains a day. So each supply train, roughly carries 500 tons of supply. And that's enough for an American division because of all those chocolate cakes they carry and cream puffs. But the other supplies are pretty much the same. You know, with the German armor divisions, you had almost as many trucks as the American armor division. You had the tanks, you had the parts, um, you had the oil, you had all the supplies a Panzer division needed. So roughly, with a train, it's going to take a train to support a Panzer division. So if you have a single line, basically you could support 10 Panzer divisions and nothing else, or 5 Panzer divisions and 10 infantry divisions. I mean, something like that. Um, so I don't know how many divisions the Germans had in Stalingrad, but it was probably a dozen. Plus, they had divisions on the flanks. So realistically, it would have been more than that single track could have supplied. With a double track, you're talking about 3 times more. But historically, there was only a single track running into Stalingrad. So anyway, it's a long drive that far out. But that's the only way I think the Germans have to win, to knock off Russia. I mean, to defeat it. So in this game, I've taken very few losses because I've only made safe attacks. And I'm in an ideal position for combating the Russian Winter War because I withdrew slightly. I was up here against this river line, but I withdrew to an absolute straight line back, which only offers the Russians an attack on 2 hexes. And in this game, a 2-to-1 attack is pretty much suicidal. A 3-to-1, you got about a 50% chance for it to go for you or against you. A 4-to-1 might be a 60% chance, and a 5-to-1 is going to be pretty much in your favor as the attacker. But on 2 hexes, you're going to be lucky to get 2-to-1. So you're going to need a lot of air power. And you'll be lucky to get 3-to-1. Maybe you can get 4-to-1. That's a stretch. So as long as you've got that straight line, you've got a pretty decent, you got about the best defense you can have. All the rivers are going to freeze in the severe zone, so you're not going to get any benefit there. So the straight line is great. Now your only weakness is where the line will bend. And it only bends once right here. And then it goes straight across to the Sea of Azov. So along this line, he can only attack me on 2 hexes. And you can't stack up in this game. So it's like, this is 30 combat points. You can have 30 here and 30 here. That's 60 to 30, 2-to-1. How's he going to get more? You can't stack up. The only way you can get more is to use a lot of air power. The Russians, I don't think this first winter have that much air power, and what they have is way back here. So now usually the greatest weakness is the bend here, and you can have on the bend you can have an inside corner and an outside corner. So I have an inside corner, which means this unit forming the bend. I shouldn't click on it. Can only be attacked by 1 hex, this hex right here. If I had an outside bend, so this was facing the Russians, this unit could be attacked by 3 hexes. You can see this one, and this one. So that would obviously be a vulnerable position because he could get decent odds on that. But here, with an inside bend, he can't. So this is like the ideal defensive position. And I'm out of the severe weather zone out here, I think. So he's not going to get any benefits for attacking in severe. And I've got reserves behind here if something bad happens. And all my power is right here. Now, the additional thing I was able to do a couple turns ago is to break into the Crimea and attack Sebastopol and take it. Then I was able to use my entire air power here to break into the Kuban. The only problem with that is there's a road going from this crossing point, and it looks like you can only be in supply out to here. And if you go any further, you're not in supply. So it's like a dead end for an attack. And I'm going to give it a try this turn to go out here, but I'll bet I'll still be out of supply. And if that's the case, then I'm just going to go back here to the crossing and just hold it. But once spring happens, I intend to resume the offensive, and I'll have to cross the Minas River here. I'll have to get Rostov and then cross the Donets and cross the Don and hopefully get into Stalingrad. But I don't know if that's going to be doable. We're going to see. It's going to be some really hard fighting, and I'm going to have to extend my line really long. But I'm in the best position to do it. And if I can't do it with this force and what's coming on, I don't think it can be done, because I have virtually no losses at this point. Every unit is in full strength, and they're unlikely to be degraded by much anyway during any Russian winter offensive. And then I'll have both the units and the position to continue the attack. So if I can't do it now, you just won't be able to do it. You can't knock Russia out. And yeah, you can get Leningrad. You might be able to get Moscow. Won't make any difference. It's just another city. It'll give you some better rail connections, but it's not going to be enough to win. So anyway, that's what's on the missing videos, is how I got here. So with that, I guess we can continue. So it's my turn. What can I build here? I've got to keep building infantry corps because I'm extending my line out. So I can build one. Oh, I've got 244 left. That means I can build another one, which I'll do. Now I got to start building some stuff for the West. Let's start out. Let's see what the coastal defenses run. 20, and I got 28. Whoopsie do. I can build one coastal defense, which I'll do. So the West now will get my leftover points, which won't be much, but it's 1942, and I have a feeling they're not going to be invading France in 1942. Now, let's see what I get. Ooh, I get an army headquarters plus 2 infantry corps. So we'll put one of the infantry corps here. Put the other one here. And let's see where we should put the army. Got one army up there. Boy, this is kind of spread out. It's 5 hexes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, they're actually covered. These are just holding areas, so I don't want to overcommit forces to holding areas. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just as long as everything's covered here. Okay, they're covered. This guy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He covers this area. And here's the action area. So we've got one army here, one army here, one army here. Okay, I'm going to bring in the army. Right there. In February, I get 2 more infantry corps. Okay, so we're going to click on the rail here and I'm going to put it right there. I'm going to click on the rail. Bring this up here, and the army. Let's see. When they're there, I think we should have one here. Okay. No. Geez, these guys can't move worth spit. Let's move this guy back here. Let's move him on the rail. Now, can he move on the rail? I guess not. He had to move to it. Yeah, that's all he can move. Okay, this guy. Is that a headquarters? Yeah. This is the mountain. Is it Romanian Alpine Corps? Yeah. I'm gonna need him. I gotta replace him. Okay, where's... Oh, here we go. Romanian. No, he's... How can that be German? Hungarian. Okay, okay. My mistake. See if he can move by rail. Oh, he can. So he'll move down here. Of the Hungarians. Hold Sebastopol. I'll have to get this guy out of here. Next turn I'll do the switcheroo. Okay, let's check our oil situation. Got 500 oil, that's good. How come we have a storage of 4,350 logistics and we only have 486 in stockpile? What's wrong with that picture? Shoot. Okay, now I'm going to try this one last time. Oh, I have to close this. So he only has 5 operations points, see right there. And he can go into there. He's got 1 operation point and he can't get back. Shit, so I gotta move this guy to cover him so he doesn't get cut off. Well, there's no supply here. So I'm gonna withdraw these guys. This is a dead end across this strait. So I'll go moving some of my Air Force around here. Unfortunately, Jesus, see, there's no good bases here. Might as well leave them where they are for the moment. It'll save some oil if I don't move them around. There's nowhere to move them. Look at, none of this is suitable for air bases. So I have to move them back here. I suppose that would be okay. But I've got fighters here. So where am I going to move the fighters? Oh, it's got 3 tactical. Okay, that's a bomber. Here's a fighter. I'll move them up there. Move them up there. Flieger Corps 3. Must be ME-110s. They're not that great. We'll move them up here. I'll move my Stukas up there. They're good down here. Move them right up there. Move this guy up here. Stuka. I guess he's okay there. Yagkor. Okay, we'll move him up there. Once I move these aircraft, they're probably going to stay fixed until, Jesus, there's just no better places to deploy these guys. Now, I had some of these set. The settings up here are for bombing naval, bombing land units, bombing airfields, and bombing strategic targets. So if they're land, you want bomb armies. And I had some set for bombing navies. I got to make sure I change those settings. Okay, those are all armies. Oh, here's a Navy one. Okay, we'll change it to Army. 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 Navy. Oop. Change that to Army. 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 Okay, that's good. Okay. Actually, these hexes might not be so bad to hold. Not this one here, but these two, because I can deploy air units there. Okay, I can't move that one. Yeah, that might not be so bad. I'll just pull back. I know now that's going to be an unsupplied hex. It's, see how it goes? Here's the rail, 9, 6, because you got this crossing here, otherwise it'd be 8. Then 5, 4. That's what these numbers are. They're the basically the supply you're getting in that hex away from the rails. Any rail hex is a 9, and you're counting down when you move away from the rail. And sometimes, like here, the count is greater because you're crossing. You got a crossing here, restricting your supply. Okay, so I used so we're at, we got 57% of our, this is our oil storage, 491. Well, I'm basically, except for these units down here, I'm just going to sit here now. So my oil should go up. I'm using 15 oil for upkeep. And when I build an infantry corps, I'm not using oil. And I'm getting 70 a turn. So I should start going up next turn. Okay, let's check out Finland. Well, actually not doing bad in Finland. God, that guy, he must be crawling. His hands and knees. All he can move is one hex. Okay, so far we're holding him back. That's what counts. Oh, Italy's kicked out of North Africa, which is okay by me. And ooh, I gotta move somebody down to Naples. Got 60 rail. And I guess it'd be nice to have someone in Rome. We got enough rail to do that. Oh, this guy. Guess I should keep him there. Oh, this guy's on a road. Is this guy on a rail? Yeah. So we'll move him down to Rome. Okay, what happened? Can't he move that far? No! Dumb bastard, he comes one hex short. Jesus. Oh, what's this guy up here? Okay. Does he have enough? What the hell's the matter with these guys? They always fall one short. Mamma mia. All right, let's check out. Oh, we're okay, and southern Italy. Let's see, I want to see the port capacity here. So in order to do that, I've got to get out of the Windows module, go to graphics. Now, see this box over here tells me the hex detail. So this is a level 2 port, which means it can supply 2 units. About this guy can supply 1 unit. This guy can supply 2. Well, I want these units here for Vichy occupation. And I have this one as an extra unit, doing nothing up here. So I'll send him down as far as I can, I guess. Now what? Shit, it's always something here. Okay. Let's change the scale. Now this unit, he can leave there. No, let's do this again so I can see it. Okay, we can get all the way down there. That's good. We'll put him there. We got 2 more units to move up here. Well, this is a level 1 there. That's a level 2 port. Ah, shit. We have too many parts. Well, I'm out of rail, so that's the end of the Italian move. And that's the end of the German move. Let's go on to the Allied move. Let's see what those evil Russians are going to do. Left this big hole here. I guess that's the Pripyat marshes right in here, so they don't want to go in there. Neither do I. There's nothing in there for me. Russians gonna have a lot of stuff in Finland. I imagine they're all winterized. Ooh, double snowflakes. That's a blizzard. That you don't want to be attacking in. It's double snowflakes everywhere in Russia. Well, except for the south, single snowflake. Look at that. He's cleared out of that whole area in the Kuban, and I can't take advantage of it. I'm going to try one more thing down there. Move on that road and see if there's any supply in that road. You'd think there would be some. See, look at that. It's opportunity knocks. So I'll move out right there in that road hex and see what happens. If there's no supply there, then I'll pull back from these. Oh shit, I forgot to do headquarters supply. I'll have to do that next turn. Whoa. I guess this is going to be Kursk. He's making four deep lines, four deep in this whole area. Jesus, so I'll have to grind through them just like Kursk. We'll see how that works. Funny. I'll check the settings after this, because I think I've got the AI moving as slow as it can. At this point, I'll have it move as fast as it can, because it's not going to matter through the winter and early spring. I can see the strategy now is to make the southern front Kursk. So I think what I'm going to do for strategy, I'll attack towards the Dnieper right there and make a defensive line here across the Dnieper. And then push out from Kharkov down to the Sea of Azov. And with the hopes that somewhere I'll cross this river line. And then establish another defensive line along this river, which I guess is the minus, and then continue across here to Stalingrad. And if I can get over at Rostov or anywhere here to break into here, maybe start a minor drive down here just to make sure he sloughs off units to garrison that. But look at how strong he is. He's already got a huge defense in depth here. Okay, it's still snowing. $391. Got 3 Yag fighters. I don't want to. See, now my oil is up to 530, 61%. So I'm going to build another infantry corps. Got 175 left. I'm not going to build anything more. Maybe I can build 2 next turn. Okay, I don't get anything. Oh. I am going to switch out Let's see if he... Can he move anywhere? Up here. So we'll move the German here. And stick the Hungarian in Sevastopol. And I think that's going to be my only move. Oh, I wanted to try out. No supply there. Screw it. Okay. I can't move that guy back, but I'll move him back next turn. So I'll hold this bridgehead, and the only reason I'm going to hold it is because it's one of the few airfields around here. You know, I'll use it for an attack down here. Otherwise, that's the end of my turn. We'll go on to AI's portion of the turn. It's December 19th. USA declares war on Germany. Okay. Why'd they do that? I didn't declare war on them. Now see, that's not anywhere near historical. Because technically, the Germans weren't obliged to declare war on the U.S. on Japan's behalf, because their agreement, tripartite agreement, said that if Japan is attacked, well, they weren't attacked, they attacked. So the Germans really weren't required to declare war against the U.S. And the U.S. might not, probably wouldn't have declared war against Germany, because all the people and the Congress wanted to fight Japan. And so Roosevelt could, with everyone's support, declare war against Japan, but it's not so sure he would have been able to justify declaring war against Germany at the same time. There still was a lot of pacifists in the U.S. and in the Congress. But Hitler helped them out by doing it. But he didn't have to. And as Hitler, I wouldn't do it now. But I'll check out the political thing and see if I'm at war with the U.S. I know the U.S. is at war with me, but that doesn't make any sense. Because Roosevelt wanted to do it, but I don't think politically he could. Uh-oh. They're moving to cut off Potsdam garrison. I guess I'll have to move them down. Oh, yeah. Geez, he's starting to stack up a fifth line. So he's got 4 lines, now he's going to go for 5. I suppose he'll keep stacking lines up all the way to Moscow. He'll probably have enough units too. He's got a lot of units around Riga. Hmm. Yeah, I'm going to speed this up. Hmm. Okay, now okay, where's the US on here? I don't even see him. Well, that's interesting. They aren't even on this political display. Something isn't right here. Oh yeah, there they are. Okay. What's my status with them? We're at war. I never declared war on them. Christ, where did I zip off here somewhere? Oh, just because they said USA. Well, that certainly needs some work. I'm just going to look at some things here. Okay. My oil's going up. Don't get anything until February. Jesus, that's a month away. I get 2 more Panzer Corps. That's good. 3. Okay, that's as many as I think I'll be able to support with my oil resources. Look at way out here. You've got Kazan, Kirov, Molotov, Ufa. This is the Urals out here. And here's Moscow. What chance would the Germans have to get to the Urals? God, there's Gorky. That's still a ways away from Moscow. We're not going there. Oh, one thing I will do, because I'll probably forget it, is to move this guy into Rome. Let's see if we can move this guy into this port. Okay. Now, I'm wondering, we're going up to the double gear again. I'm going to change this to the windows. Let's see if any of this stuff's operational. Let me save the game first. I'll save it as War in Europe. Okay. Now here's my recording icon. Ease Us is what it's called. See if I can access it. See, I click on it and I can't. Oh. Okay, I can't access that, but I can access my files folder of videos. That's funny, huh? Okay, well, I guess that's the end of the game, so I'm going to get out of it. This Ease Us leaves something to be desired with this game, but hopefully it'll work. So we'll get out of the game. We'll quit. Let's see if I can get ease access. Still can't get it, so we